Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite day of the week.
We talked mad junk about you, Nick.
I'm sure you did, because you judge books.
No, actually, we were sharing.
You judge books by their covers.
We were sharing strip club stories with Pam, but she's never been to one.
Really?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
she's never been. She said I need to take her to one.
We're children of God.
It all started.
We don't go to the devil's.
It all started, Nick,
devil's
because
houses.
I asked Joel. I said, "When are you guys going to come to Nashville? I can make sure I'm not. If I don't come, make sure so we can know I'm not coming home." And then Pam was like, "Can I go?" We were like, I was like, "Yeah, come on."
Dang, Pam, you trying to go to the brass?
She's like, "I don't want to impede on the guys' night or the guys' weekend."
She said she wanted to be in on that strip club.
Just tell her to bring her club.
She's not messing up the
bring
stack.
Her club. What is she, crazy?
I know. I just said no babies. We gotta leave Roman somewhere. He would not be able to be there because he's a baby.
We have a stack to master. She can't mess up the volume of the stack.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yar.
Maybe I can look for a Lorcana tournament in Nashville that y'all can come to.
Dude, you should have seen Nick last night. Mad at me.
Oh,
wasn't mad at you.
We're going.
You were.
I wasn't mad at you. Not gonna be mad at you for something you did.
No, because I pulled that card.
It has nothing to do with the fact I was mad at my luck.
No, I know. Not mad at me. I don't mean
be mad at
you.
You were mad at the situation.
Well, because look, last night, so we got our cards again at the end of the thing.
No, I did good, man. I did good.
And he had a really good tournament.
Yeah.
Like he had a good time. And it was like way better experience right this time. But
Gotcha.
at the end, you get your cards, right? You always get a pack.
Yeah.
And I've had some pretty good luck pulling some stuff. Like I've pulled some really.
That's not pretty good. You had some.
We know
out of
the
this
people.
world.
The listeners of the podcast know.
Yeah, I've pulled like some. I've pulled like 3 really good expensive cards, right? And so everybody's opening all their packs out there. It's just a bunch. It's like the same crowd all the time, and it's a bunch of middle-aged dudes and a couple of wives, and everybody's out there, and so like everybody's like, "Oh, anybody get anything?" And nobody really got anything. And then I'm at the car, and I'm sitting out there, and I open mine, crack. And I go through it, and I see the corner. Pam goes, "Oh, babe," and it's one of those cards. It's one of the super rare enchanted cards.
Yeah.
And I get to it, and it's the Tinkerbell enchanted card, and it's like $250, right? And I pulled in the same pack a $70 like Rapunzel card. It's like it was like a God pack, like one of those like super duper. And if you don't know what that is, it's like a pack that you get that is like super stacked, for what you pay,
You need to start opening these online,
dude. It was unbelievable. And then this guy comes over and he goes, "Hey man, can I put my butt on your car and open my pack?" Because I opened it at the car, on top of the car.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And he pulled a $70 Rapunzel. He saw, man. He goes, "You better be careful." He's like, "Next week you're gonna have every guy out here with their ass on your car, opening their packs."
Yeah.
Oof. What'd you get? Oh, man. But it wasn't bad.
Was the Lord of Lorcana at the games?
It was a good crowd, huh, Nick?
Was our guy?
He was playing One Piece.
Oh, he was playing. He hasn't been back in a while. And I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Jesus.
He wasn't playing.
Hate to hear it.
Look, I have a love-hate relationship with Lorcana right now. Like, it's tough.
I understand.
For me right now. It's tough. It's a tough game for me.
Well, it can't be both of you guys' times at the same time.
Well, that guy, one thing.
Time.
Well, let's just say this thing about that guy. One thing for sure, he was playing One Piece, and one thing I could tell for sure is that he does not get any bitches, and I want that to be known. One Piece or Lorcana, he is bitchless.
So One Piece is a game too.
Yeah,
he gets
he gets no buns.
Yeah, it's a game too. But Nick is
One Piece that was the anime thing.
Yeah,
it's a trading card game.
Yeah. So Nick, explain your frustration with the Lorcana.
I think a lot of it has to do with, for me, it's been timing. I just really haven't had the time to get into it. Time to play.
Agree.
Time invested in actually pulling packs and and I love Joel because Joel, I'm opening boosters and he's like, "Oh, that's a nice card. Oh man, that's a nice card. Oh man, this is a great card," and I'm feeling good. And then he turns around and and this is like pack number 3 where he's opened up a basic pack, same pack that I received, and the guy's pulling enchanted, and I'm just like, dang dang, man. Even when I have a good night, when I have a
It
good
is
night,
a-
it's still
it is
bad
a
night.
luck
You know what I
thing.
mean? So it's just like I can't win for losing when it comes to
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's just like maybe it's just a streak I'm on, and hopefully I'll get over the streak. Now that I've got time to
Yeah,
play,
you're
you know
in
what
a
I mean?
slump. It's just like
I'm in
batting.
this Lorcana slump right now, man. I really want to break out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think you just
You just need one Tuesday.
Yeah.
One Tuesday
Yeah.
will pick you,
I
lift
think
you up
that-
out of this slump. And you're going to be
I think
riding
here's
the
the-
wave.
you gotta just you gotta in fairness, you just gotta dive in a little bit, just like you do with MAGIC Magic. You gotta jump in. You gotta go in Lorcana just the same way. Like
Yeah.
just play.
one more time.
And look it up. Like I look up stuff, and because one thing I think that even me, and I know you for sure because you just started, is we lack is understanding some of the strategy, not the strategy, but some of the combos that exist in the game. Because the color combinations that you're playing right now probably aren't going to be adequate to what you're going to need to beat some of these other colors now. So you got to switch it up, right? And we talked about that because the game changes, it evolves all the time because people. And then it's about to change again in
and
November
then-
because there's a new set coming
the
out.
other
so it's gonna
frustrating
be-
piece is the availability of cards. Like Magic right now, you can go to any Magic
Yeah, right,
store
right.
and you can get boosters because they've just got tons of different lore, tons of different storylines, tons of different cards that you can pull and combinations that you put together. Whereas Lorcana, I just can't go to the store and buy packs like I can, if I was buying something from Magic.
And
And so
some-
availability
right.
is also the other frustrating piece about it. But,
But-
I'm really trying to get ahead for the new release. And so really, get my ducats together so I can have what I need and hopefully get a better pool. And hopefully, we could turn this
But-
Lorcana frown upside down. And yeah.
Listen, Nick, be our guest. Be our guest. Put your deck to the test.
Put this ice around my neck.
I forgot to say.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Look at you. Look at me. There is
No, it's a fun game. Like I'm not going to take away from the funness of the game. So I don't want to
It is, it's
discourage
good.
anybody from not playing. It's just for me, it's just been tough. It's been tough. Joel's really just been ahead of the power curve when it comes to Lorcana. September was just tough as far as timing goes because I was traveling for work and then get my vacations out the way. And so, like I said, hopefully I'll have that turnaround once we get the new release and the new drops coming out. I'm looking forward to it. But also, getting back into Magic too. They just did another drop for that, and they got another drop coming out. So get some new boosters. Revigorate. It's kind of revigorating to go to Magic and get some boosties, and then turn around and play. So, we just got to play more and get into it. And so, now that I'm kind of over the.
Let me say
vacation
this.
hump, we're going to get into it.
Let me tell you what I did though is I just got a lot of singles. I was able to invest the money that you possibly could waste, because if you consider like some of the packs that you got that you're unhappy with, that would be considered a waste, right? Where if you took the same money and bought like the cards that you want or need directly, which are available through many places, then you could become more invested in it because you invested a little bit more money.
All right, I agree.
But it's fun. But either way, you got it going on.
We'll turn it around.
Hey, donkeys eat cheese
true.
and carrots.
Because even if they dangle it, they still gonna go after it. So it's all good. It's all good.
Hump.
But I'm always happy to be back on the podcast. It looks like we're recording. We're holding strong. We're doing pretty good. Yeah. So here we go.
We had
Go ahead and
some
kick this
technical
thing,
issues.
or do we want to get a little?
Gang. Hey,
All right,
let's run
sir.
this mother
Let's run it.
sucker.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to. Oh, bless you. Bless you twice. Welcome
Thank
back
you.
to your favorite day of the week. It's
My
Tuesday,
God.
and this is the podcast. And guys, it's the spooky season is upon us. It's October. Can you believe it? I'm excited, man.
Excited?
I'm excited. October, November, December. We're in fourth quarter.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Quarter.
Easily my favorite time of year, but also the hardest time of year when you're trying to not gain weight or watch what you eat, because the food is so good. So mentally, I think after going to the doctor and stuff, it was easily for me to I don't eat as much bull crap anymore. And I just don't want it. I don't know what happened. I was able to, I just like when they. Because I did like blood work, and then they called me and they're like, "Hey, I need you. Your blood work was weird." And I was like, "What? Scary." And dude, I was freaking out. Like, talk about anxiety. I was.
Yeah, he was.
I was scared, dude. I was like, dude, like I would put that big booty pill that Nick was showing
Yeah.
whatever. Saved my life, like we
when did you have
said.
your checkup?
It was just my my yearly checkup. So turns out it was just like nothing crazy. It was just like, hey, your cholesterol's a little bit high.
Oh yeah, you just dropped some.
But my vitamin D was really low, and he's like, but it makes sense, dude, because I've been super tired and my joints and stuff like were hurting all the time. And I was like, dude, like, man, am I just getting old? Because I know I have arthritis pretty bad, and so maybe it's something that goes with that too, and. Because I had degenerative arthritis in my ankle, and it kind of just ate itself away. But I couldn't even, like, flexing would hurt my elbows. It would be like, oh,
really?
Dude, like, yeah, like painful. Wow. And so, like, I went out and I got like some vitamin D and I got like some magnesium, and it was just a little bit that you would get in a regular multivitamin, but it was helping so much. And my doctor said, hey, we're going to give you a big dose, and then come back in like 6 months or whatever. And so, like, dude, when I tell you, I feel so normal and so, like, back to, like, who the heck it was becoming, it was just becoming a normal to, like, hurt my elbow. Like, everything is just like, man, bro, like, this sucks.
I have my thing next week because I'm getting a checkup before I head out.
Was that good?
Like the full body checkup, just make sure everything's good. So
I gotta tell you, man, living in pain does a number on your mood, man. You know what I mean? Like back pain, joint pain, osteoporosis. Like it does a number on you, man. So this is a different podcast. Normally we would say, "Oh, you're good, thug it out," but I'm telling you, aches and pain, go see your doc. It's important. At any age, unfortunately, when we're younger, we feel like we're immortal, and it's just a little pain. It's not a big deal, and over time, it is degenerative, right? Pain just means your body is telling you something is wrong, so you should listen to your body. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is pick a spot.
That's true.
What I was telling Joel before we started the podcast that me and Katie went to a concert on Sunday night, and I mean, usually I'm not going to say that. It sounds so.
Talk about it.
But usually we'll get like if you go to the underground or the Fillmore, you can get like VIP seating, which is really just like in the bars. It's like it's not what it sounds like, but it's like a chair because they're both standing room only. But we didn't get that, and we were going to get it, and then it was sold out, so we had to stand the whole time. And like at the end of that concert, I got really lightheaded and had to step outside and almost like passed out. Well, I did pass out with the medic people, but for just a split second, and with my sugar and my and I was like,
they was kissing on you, Pat. They was giving you kisses. They was giving you sugars.
They
was like,
but everything, But I was talking to them, and because I felt like
sugar.
I mean, we were in the middle of the big group of people. I mean, there was probably 2,000 people there, and I felt kind of like anxious. So I was like, I need some air. So I walk. Then I walk outside, and the girl's like, hey, there's some medics right down there if you want to go talk to them. So I go down there, and I sit down, and I say, hey, check my sugar, check my blood pressure. Something's going on. I feel lightheaded, blah, blah, blah. And they do, and everything checked out fine. But it was very, very,
I'm going to tell you,
scary.
I feel anxious when I'm surrounded by people who want to kiss me, Instead of a mosh pit, it sounded like you was in a kiss pit. Like, pass him and kiss him at the same time.
No, you was in a love circle, huh?
I felt. I'll tell you what though.
Does it make you scared? Because like when I feel abnormal, like just out of the ordinary, it is scary. Because today, and this is sad to say, and it's so wrong. It's not even real. But I was saying something. I was like, oh man, I can't. You know what? I want to get a better studio area where like I have all kinds of stuff, like my ships and stuff set up behind me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna do that someday. And I was like, dude, I'm 40. I was like, I'll be 50. Like someday is like,
someday it'll be 10 years.
It's not the same as when.
Yeah.
It's not the same as when you're like 20 or.
Yeah.
Even
we're like at that
30.
age now.
The concept of time is totally different now. And it's like if you don't do, you never
everything's
will
real.
At this point, you know what I mean? And so it's just like you got to, you got to do it. You got to take that leap.
That's what I needed to hear stepping into this next 2 weeks.
I mean, so that's real. That's
True
real.
That.
But and this is the last thing I'll say about it. Anybody that doesn't have this Whoop app, in the bracelet thing. So listen to this. This is what's crazy. So usually it judges by strain and sleep, and I'm sure you guys know about this. Like strain and sleep, it'll tell you what your recovery is with your sleep from the strain you had the day before. So it's like keeping up with your health. So on Friday, I had 70% recovery. So after Friday night going into Saturday, I had 39% recovery with lower heart rate variable. And then Saturday going into Sunday, I had 33% recovery. So my recovery through my sleeping and strain was going down before that episode on Sunday night. How wild is that?
Yeah, that's a trip.
Well, for us CPAPers, we keep up with that on a regular nightly basis with our res meds.
Yeah,
and so
I need
to kind of keep up with that. I will say, I do feel initially I didn't think it worked too well. But it's just one of those machines over time.
Being
a CPAP, I just felt like it was a waste. But after over time, when you use it the way you're supposed to, you actually do have really good recovery, and it does make you go to sleep fairly quickly. So it works. It's just adjusting to it. I don't know if I love it, but I've gotten very used to it.
My dad. Well, my dad.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was saying, can I recommend magnesium and vitamin D, like legit? Because I'm telling you, if you feel tired a lot,
I do feel tired a lot.
There's a good possibility. A lot of people suffer from low vitamin D because, like, you can get it from the sun, but we still wear clothes. We stay inside a lot.
Yeah,
we don't. There's not much food that you get vitamin D from. It's something you kind of have to take. Like you give it to babies. You get it. And if you don't take it, it can make your muscles weaker. It can make your bones weaker. And so it's just
something.
So check it out, man. And multivitamins.
I do need.
I know some people don't believe in them. They're like, "Oh, it's stupid," or "It's a waste because your body doesn't take it all." But is it? I mean, is it a waste? Because at least I get some. I know people who don't get sick and they take all these things, and it's like, okay,
yeah. I think whatever concoction you can figure out that's like I on my end all natural that makes you feel that like the best you is what.
That's
always all natural,
man. Honestly, dude, like increasing your vegetable intakes, you're really going to have a lot of those good lean meats, things of that nature, stuff that's really the good stuff. It's just unfortunately we're attracted to the bad stuff, and you got to remember, man, sugar. We basically OD on sugar, right? Our body produces enough sugar to sustain us, but anytime we go beyond that, we're really just we're ODing on the sugar. You know what I mean? And our body's reacting to it.
My doctor was like, he goes, when talking about cholesterol and stuff, and he goes, you should just not eat so much red meat. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, not too much pork. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, maybe you should eat just fish. You ever considered? I mean, meat is bad.
Yeah.
It's Mediterranean. It's the Mediterranean. It's like pescatarian.
Pescatarian. That's what it is.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's just fish, but
I don't like
you could
fish.
You could do. But he's all, you should maybe like chicken and fish.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, red meat is bad for you. Red meat is not that great for you, but it is. You've been conditioned though to think that, like as an athlete or as like somebody who works out, you've been conditioned to think like, oh, steak or meat.
That carnivore diet that people talk about.
You're talking about the Liver King.
I guess. Liver King never lies.
I've never been a red meat. Like taking red meat.
I think it's just something. I think it's different for everybody, and so everybody, but BODY. Because when I was a vegetarian for that, like 10 months, let's say, so basically a year, right? I felt great all the time. I had a ton of strength. I was able to maintain size. I was able to like I didn't get sick. Even when I had COVID, it was like a day or two. Dude, chill out, bro. It was. I didn't feel unhealthy at all. But I guarantee you, my vitamin D was super low from that too. Because there's iron too. You got to think your iron's probably low too. Because spinach is like the only thing that I can think of that has a high iron content for vegetables. And I'm sure there's a ton more. So forgive me if you're listening. You're like, you're a fool. Well, I'm not a fool. I'm
We're
just
not.
not.
Yeah, we're not experts.
You know.
on this.
So
So don't forget.
so today,
your spinach.
did you- did you guys see Charlie?
Blow
Shut
me
up.
down.
Did you guys see at 2:00? Did you guys get the national service
the FEMA
alarm?
went off at 2:00. Everybody was.
Are you guys a
buzzing.
zombie? They activated our brain thing, and we're all going to get sick now. And now it's a new epidemic. It's coming.
Is that what they're saying?
They
what they say.
say Uranus turns inside out. They say your thighs turn into knees, and they say your ankles.
Your eyeballs are
going
going to flip inside out, and you're going to be staring at your brain.
They say you can only smell with Uranus and sniff with your body chin. But I was thinking
See what
about this
happens
so
tomorrow.
funny today. I was like, dude, because they said on the thing, they said every person, every Apple, every iPod, every tablet,
Device.
every phone, TV, radio in the country, right, was going to be tested, right? And I was like, man, what about like in prison, like all those dudes that are hiding
Got
in
him.
your keister butts? They're like, they're all in line. It's all. Oh, dude, like they're all. Dude, you know how many people probably got busted today and got put in the hole? It's all. No, what's that? He's all. I farted.
That was a really
I just
weird fart.
farted. It's a weird one.
I don't know where
I
it
was
is.
constipated. So I couldn't help
Bro,
but get that on my
they got
mind.
him.
Here I am, like driving down the, here I am driving down the road, laughing like a idiot. Like that's so funny, and nobody's with me. Like how
Well,
dumb.
that's
But-
why we're all
laughing
three
those
best
moments.
friends.
You gotta laugh.
We all,
You know what I mean?
we all that same.
That's hilarious. though. Like
Dude, it was so
I knew
funny
just,
to me.
just singing.
People got in
oh,
trouble
yeah,
today.
They got busted. They got busted.
All at the same
Busted.
time too. I need you three to stand over here. You three stand over here.
It's all in harmony. He's like,
That's
okay,
hilarious.
someone just either one of
like-
y'all's butthole, one of y'all's a robot, and y'all be
Damn,
fighting
that was a weird
alarms.
fart just now.
Oh my God, I never farted like
what y'all
that my
feed
whole
us?
life.
I think we all got
Oh
the same
man, that
disease.
food today was serious.
That's y'all's fault for giving us that
Oh my god,
bread.
it was the peanut
That
butter.
was-
I knew.
Us.
Somebody
Oh,
had a
dude,
triple
that's
up on
so funny.
commissary today, man. It got real and
Just heat up on that.
a lot
joint.
of people got busted. Anybody who had a
They weren't
secondary
playing.
phone that their significant other didn't know about, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was rough today. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
dude.
Ugh. It's crazy.
You gotta assume that there's a lot of people that probably didn't know that it was going to happen, even though
Yeah.
they've been talking about it everywhere. There's probably a bunch of
I
people that
didn't know it was going to
Like,
happen.
You didn't know for real?
I had saw an
You live
article
under a
on-
rock,
came over
you
my
fool.
phone
I don't
2
pay
days ago,
attention.
and it talked about the test. But yeah, a lot of people at work were like, "Oh, that's the yellow alert." And I'm like, everybody's phone's going off right now. Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of
Of course.
conspiracy theories. They were saying, like, these people were like, oh, it's going to be a tone at a certain amount of hertz, which is going to activate the disease that they put into you with the COVID-19 vaccine, and everybody's going to become
gotta worry about that.
Crimea. I'm like a Crimea. Well, lucky you. That's on you,
What is
buddy.
this? The Kingsman plot? Like what
you
the
know,
heck?
hey, guess what? Hey, if you die, I'll cry.
I'll
That's all I'm
cry
telling
me
you.
a
Whatever.
river.
Same.
Shoot. Hey, let me tell you something, Nick. I ain't never cried that
cried a river?
much. I ain't never even
Damn,
cried a
bro.
pond.
How about a puddle? You ain't even cried a
I
puddle?
ain't cried a creek.
Wow, you hard.
Hell no.
Too hard. You
I
too
mean,
hard,
I've cried a
bro.
puddle.
One time I cried a cupful and I drank it and put the tears back in
Gotta
my own
refresh
body.
yourself with your own tears.
I said, hey,
Recycling. You're like a fountain.
I said sadness comes out, but I put
in.
that sadness
You
back
gotta
in
keep
me.
that sadness.
I was depressed for weeks. They said if I wouldn't have drank my tears, I wouldn't have suffered.
That's real right there.
That's how you
It's
stay
real.
hydrated.
That's hey,
Real life. Drink
Real
your
talk.
own tears.
hey, them electrolytes you just
Hey,
put
real talk,
electrolytes back in
from-
your body that you would have lost anyway because you know them tears salty.
I mean, it's man's
saying.
Gatorade.
Well, drink that.
It's your body's own.
Yeah.
It's a little sour. Okay, it's more like
Saline
man's pickle juice.
Hey, pour that in some Coke and have yourself a
That
man's
is
witch
not what
doctor.
man's pickle
Have yourself
juice
a
is.
warlock doctor. Ooh, a warlock doctor. Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna
a
go get some
man's
pickle
witch
juice real
doctor. He's
quick.
got to have
Oh,
a
God.
pickle
Here
juice
we
swig. Oh, he's out. You got to give him a. He's going
might not
to
be
bring
coming
the whole
back.
pickle juice jar. He's going to drink
Might
pickle
not be
juice for
coming
the
back.
rest of the podcast. And
Oh,
you know
God,
what?
yeah. You
I
got,
do
you got
have
pickle
pickle
juice,
juice.
Nick?
Nah,
you
I
get
don't
pickle juice?
think I'm
You get
drinking
pickle
any
juice?
pickle juice right now, man. I don't think I'm going to drink it.
You don't like
Not
pickle
like
juice?
that. I don't swig pickle juice. You know what I mean? If I get a little extra juice, from my pickle,
What kind of? Hold on. What kind of
Vlasic,
pickles
man.
you eat?
I eat Vlasic, classic Vlasics. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Vlasic guy. I love the thin sliced,
Yeah.
thick sandwich joints that go on your sandwiches because it's delicious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
You're a
used to be a
Clausen's guy?
deal guy, but now I'm a Clausen.
Okay.
I'm a Clausen, man.
You're a Clausen's guy. Yeah, I like a good Vlasic pickle.
I didn't, dude. This is you and Joe will get this, but other people that aren't from our area, I thought that Clausen pickles only came from like Stag and Doe
It's true. It's the only way you get them. You know what I'm saying?
for the longest time. And when I found out that you could just get them at Food Line, I was like, oh my god!
They make good Clausens.
Hold on, Charlie.
I like
You're
like
gonna be
the
coming here
Vlasic
looking for
pickles
food. You
with
gotta
the
shoot.
stork. You know what I mean? My dude right there.
Dude, have you ever eaten like sweet and sour pickles?
No, I've never. I've had hot pickles.
I don't like them.
I've had hot pickles.
pickles
I
would
used
be
to get
good.
them Sandy Ridge all the time. But I've never had any, sweet and spicy. I don't like my pickles sweet and spicy. I like my pickles pickled. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
I like my pickles like
Nobody
Peter
should
Piper.
ever eat
you know
a
what I'm
bread
saying?
and butter.
bread. Dude, that's it. Bread and butter
Dude,
pickles. That's what
those
it is.
bread and butter pickles are disgusting.
I said sweet and sour, which is wrong.
Only sweet.
I'll have a sweet and sour pickle, please.
No.
Yeah, bread
But
and
you know,
butter.
like-
Bread and butter. Bread and butter pickles.
But
But
you know
they
they-
piss me off.
yeah.
Like if I get a pickle and don't know, and I take a bite.
But you know,
I'm
my
like,
cousins
"Ugh."
used to like, and now they sell them like it's like put pickles and Kool-Aid together. Yeah, my
I've
cousin
seen
used to
that.
do that growing up, but now they actually sell it, so you can get you some Kool-Aid pickles. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Just keep my pickles pickled
I don't. Yeah.
and leave them alone, right? Don't do nothing extra to my pickles. You know what I'm saying?
And if you find somebody that makes like good homemade pickles,
Yeah.
like a good vinegar
My
homemade
auntie used to
pickles,
make 'em.
it's good too.
And they were fire.
Yeah, if you can find somebody that knows what they're
She
doing.
made those, and she made
that's
the
game
spicy
changer.
joints, homemade spicy pickles, delicious.
Sometimes when I eat them, I feel really like, because I'd be like,
Juicy, juice.
It's hard. You want to capture all the
What
juice.
style?
You
What
don't
style?
wanna waste it.
What style
Is your
pickle do
pickle
you
in a
like?
wrapper? Oh, you got
You like just the original, just a big,
I like a
thicky,
big,
thick one.
thicky,
I like
thick.
that. I like.
I
the
like
the full deal.
an African American pickle.
Oh, you like the B&D pickles?
I like that. I like the big ones though.
He likes the BBP.
You know it. Hey, don't tip me with the big black pickle. No, I like the big ones. No, take it.
Well done, Pat. Well done.
Know what you do?
Pat's been waiting for
Bring it
that.
over.
You know what you do?
Look. Dang, service.
Thank you, son.
Wow, that's real right there.
Back in here.
God, I need to hire some people. I need to hire some assistants over here.
Cheesing
Take him out.
Joe
Thank you.
calls his assistant son.
right now.
It's his name. He's
You're
Chinese.
you're like a living charcuterie. Yeah.
He said his name is
Yeah,
Son,
Son.
but I call him Son.
Hi.
No.
Son?
I said, "Come here, son." He goes, "It's Son." I said,
Yeah.
"Whatever."
You're like a.
What?
How rude would that be? How rude would that be? You're all whatever. He's all, "My name is this." Okay, Bob.
Okay, Lee.
Just give me another great.
I think somebody would beat you, like would fight you.
Oh, yeah.
And would you fight somebody over that? Like if they were just degrading your name, basically.
They're degrading who you are.
I don't care.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
There's
depends
a
on how
certain level of
disrespectful
respect.
they
Like
get.
you're giving your name for a reason. You should take pride in your name. And if they go out of their way to blatantly,
Well, what about your middle name? Your middle name.
name's kind of
You're like,
because not too many people know my middle name. You know what I mean?
That's different. That's different for me.
Yeah.
I can just
They
beat
can
your
beat
middle
it up.
name
Yeah,
up.
they can abuse my middle name.
No, they
Oh,
can't.
look at Eddie
Look at old Allen over there. Look at him. You look like an Allen. You know what I mean?
God, dude, if your name was Alan, you'd have a cul-de-sac.
That's true. That's alternate universe like situation right there. You know, I would have a massive cul-de-sac, and I would wear cardigans year round. Like I would wear the cutoff cardigans in the summer, and then long sleeve cardigans in the winter. Mm-hmm. And I would have a cul-de-sac, and I would just live my life as Alan Nicholas for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I mean, think about all of us going by our different name. Like Joe went goes by his middle name. I go by my first name.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Edward.
Think about Joel
Edward
going by
would be,
Eduardo.
They wouldn't even be Eduardo. It'd just be Edward. It's straight Edward. You know what I mean? You would
Edward
be
Reyes. Eddie.
You'd be
Eddie. You'd be an Eddie.
I'll go by Eddie. I
Eddie
definitely have to be an Eddie.
You know what I mean?
And I would be Dave.
Eddie
There's no way I'd be David.
Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like
all
if
my
my name was
friends
Alan, we'd just be acquaintances. Like, oh, I know those guys. We all went to high school together.
Yes.
I think if your name was Alan, everybody would just be
Everybody would,
acquaintances with you.
Nobody would, you know.
No, we don't. I don't
just
make
like
friends. I make acquaintances.
He just seems like he's a mean dad.
Alan's a mean dad? You think so?
He seems like he's a
Alan
mean
Thicke was
dad.
a nice
Alan
dad,
does. Here, put this up.
That's what I'm saying.
On TV.
Was Alan his real name?
Who was he in real life, huh?
I'm talking about Alan Thicke.
Ask Robin.
He was a good dad. Robin confirmed it. First of all, you named the son Robin, so I mean, there you go. Where would
Nicholas seems like a good. Nicholas seems like a good dad, like a good girl dad.
Man, he's a good.
That is a good girl dad.
But see, in an alternate universe, I'd have all boys, so I'd be a boy dad.
Then you're just Nick.
No, I'd be Alan because remember in the alternate universe, you know what I mean? Everything would be backwards. So Alan would have 3 boys, whereas Nick.
What if your name was Clemency Nick? Clemency
Allen.
Allen.
Would be a weird first name, but it'd be different. It'd be different.
Wrong.
Because you would be Reyes Joel. Yeah.
All day, King
and then
Joe.
You would be straight Price, David, Patrick
Price.
You know what I mean? I think it only works if you have 2 first names to have a first name, first name, last name, first name.
That's true.
Like David Benjamin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although I think
Richard
Benjamin
Matthews.
David is a stronger name than David Benjamin.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Richard Richardson.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So what do you guys speaking of Richard Richardson, makes me think about Taylor Swift. What do you think about this whole Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing?
I'm like this, man. When you're at that level where your tax bracket is way above the norm, live your best life. You know what I mean? You can hit, and I feel like I do find some humor in what they're saying, like how Travis has gone from like knowing he had like a black girlfriend to having a white girlfriend, like in the transition that he has. Because somebody said the other day he went from like almost he could leave and become a rapper after his career to like now he would have to be like. You know what I mean? Like an officer. Like he'll retire and become a police officer.
Now he wears cowboy hats.
Yeah, I think there's some validity when you mix races like that. When you go interracial, like there's some cast off. You know, and it makes sense that there would be some cast off.
I don't understand how when you're that like famous, for lack of a better word, you can distinguish if somebody you like or they like them liking you more so than you liking them is a publicity stunt or
I think it depends on who it is. You know, I feel Taylor Swift, and this has been said. She's probably one of the greatest human beings on earth, right? Do we know how she is when the cameras are off? But I see Taylor Swift being that person. You know what I mean?
But look at her track record, man. Every time she dates somebody, it's somebody. That's
well, you know, I blame John Mayer for that. John Mayer just did a number on her. You know what I mean? And then wrote a song about it. I'm just kidding.
Well, let's say
I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Let me think. But
I just feel like
though.
they're too rich to care.
She's super attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So that would explain why a bunch of dudes that are super famous would want to go out with her.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Kelsey's winning, definitely.
She dates a lot of musicians and actors who could be prone to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And as for herself, too. You know?
Yeah.
She's super rich. I mean, I
Yeah.
could say she's uber rich. Kelsey's not uber rich yet. I think he's getting there with his podcast money and his NFL money.
Y'all
I
listen
think
to his
he's probably.
podcast? Their podcast.
I watched their documentary, but their
Their
stuff is
documentary
really
is
funny.
great. Yeah.
So
I do
And
like
the-
Jason.
but
Also,
the-
State Farm commercials.
The other one.
the fear
Yeah.
is he did a Pfizer commercial too, but the fear is it's like is it like a curse, you know? Because every time football players date like Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo,
yeah.
his whole career went downhill.
Yeah.
At that point, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens a lot. Like not just them, but that was just an idea. Is there, what happens if the Chiefs start losing? If fans will hate her.
About that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she stepped into that world.
But on the flip side,
I was gonna
on the
say-
flip side, like they said that there's a ton of new fans that it's bringing to football because
Yeah.
they're involved.
I mean, they didn't they double their viewership because she was at a game or something like on Monday Night Football, and they're saying the NFL took advantage of
sure
her
they
or something
did.
like that.
They didn't take advantage of her. They aired her commercial right before the game started for her new Eras Tour thing in theaters.
Oh, that's
There's a deal.
yeah.
I mean that's not cheap.
No.
So what's
Plus
fair
the
is
money
fair,
they paid
right?
to cart her off in the popcorn storage locker so that she can get in and out. Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know. I just like I said,
yeah, it's
man. I like
wild.
they're just man. It's such a different tax bracket. Like, I really don't have an opinion on it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think.
I just don't-
no. It's,
It's
fun
just
to talk
fun to
about.
talk
Don't get me
about
wrong.
because it's all over the
just
TV.
like,
I just don't
I,
like.
we-
I'm gonna.
I just feel like when
swing
when
it
you're
in another
that
direction.
rich, like, you pretty much get to do whatever you want.
I mean, it's still a fun love story. It's a
Yeah.
fun love story
I mean, I hope it works.
if it lasts. If it lasts.
I hope it does.
I just don't like.
And I wish
that's
them the
what
best.
boggles my mind about all of it. Is when you get to that level, if you're not with the person that came up with you, like how do you not go absolutely crazy wondering like who's with it, who's in it for?
You marry equal
Equal
yoke or equal star
I just feel like
star power.
from a Taylor Swift standpoint, she'll be okay with or without him. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
There is
they
no
both
equal-
will.
there is no
Taylor,
equal
Taylor
star
Swift
power.
more
They both
so.
will. He doesn't.
Taylor
He doesn't
Swift
need
more
her.
so than Travis Kelce, only because of the amount of money that she makes. But I think they'll both be okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the number one. He's got the number one
He
podcast
does.
in the country.
And like I said, it's yeah.
For sports
But at the same
podcast.
time, like it's just when you talk about overall net worth, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Taylor Swift's good. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And Travis Kelce's good.
And
But for
her money
sake,
ain't going
like,
nowhere.
You know,
She has-
she's
she-
good. She
has
does.
eternal
Like,
money.
She's good for the
Yes.
rest of her life. You know what I mean? If she stops singing today,
like I got eternal farts.
there you go.
That's the
Yeah.
only
I got
thing
eternal
you really
farts.
have.
There
She
you
has
go.
eternal
the revenue
money.
stream is long.
Man.
That's a long stream. She got like a
I
revenue.
don't even
ocean.
wait.
Yeah.
You know,
That would be so weird. I mean, it'd be cool for different things, but it'd be so weird to just not be able to run out of
Well, I
money.
think it's her new. It's a norm. Like
That
at
would be cool.
level, it's just a norm. Like for her, it's a norm. It's
Yeah.
like, hmm.
no, and I just. But I'm saying
Oh,
for
that'd
us,
be a
that'd
great
cool
thought. Like
I don't even know if I
know,
can.
to know that I
don't
would
know what
never
that would
have
be
to worry about anything for the rest of my life. Like that would be financially anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that would be.
I mean, yeah, it's
incredible.
different. Yeah, it's different
Mm-hmm.
if if we did something and we each made $1 million.
Right.
Eventually, that $1 million is going to run out.
You have to.
So then it's about
doing
what's
the
next.
thing.
Go
What's
eat
the
it.
next? What's the next? Yeah, what's the next money making venture? What's the next money making venture?
The scary thing though is that when you're, go get it, go get the apple. No, go get it. Go get the freaking apple and bring it here.
Charlie, quit
get
hogging
it.
our
Go eat your- go eat.
podcast time.
So what were we saying?
Scary. You said the scary thing is.
What were you saying
Start
though?
yelling.
What was I saying? Siri?
Well, I was saying that if we all got $1 million, and
Oh, yeah,
eventually
yeah,
that
yeah,
money's
this-
going to run out. So you
But
have
the
to reinvent yourself or
I think the scary thing is that when you don't have a lot of money and you get a lot of money, that it becomes like you spend it so fast because you think it's going to last a long time, and then you turn around, you got $70,000 in the bank.
Well, but I think that's why people like Shaq, people like Taylor Swift, people like Rihanna, like they make their money work for them even where they are in life. You know what I mean? Like they just made smart investments with their money, and that's really.
I mean, they make their money work, and I work for my money.
Do you guys have like
roses
in place if you came into a lot of money?
Oh, I'm gonna invest. Like, dude, I would. The first thing I would look for is where I can invest my money. You know what I mean? I would probably get somebody that I can trust that can help me with my finances. But investments would be the thing. Because again, you know, at that level, it's like Joel said, you don't want to make all that money and then turn around and blow it. You know, and that's why a lot of folks and guys in sports. That's why a lot of rich people. Get these deals and then they're out of money because they don't have a financier or somebody smart behind them to tell them how to make their money work for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said,
I don't think I would invest.
No. I would invest in something that's
like.
I
would think I would try and make money off of businesses that I like, or come up with ideas that I could do because stocks are so volatile, and I don't know anything about it, and I don't trust people after seeing all these true stories and knowing all these things that happen. Like you can't trust people with your money all the time. Like
I would
invest your money.
Yeah,
it's like
in
how much
resources like gold, silver. But even to your point, like Shaq owns all five guys or something like that, or he owns some.
I would invest in resources like rice.
Pork. Yeah.
I think my initial game plan would be to pay off like my house and my car.
Yeah, definitely get out of debt.
Like that way, if I ever got down to the point where I wasn't.
But let's say you do that.
Money.
But then let's say you pay it off, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're down to like $200K.
Yeah.
Is that like, are you satisfied with that? Or what if
I would continue? Yeah, I would continue.
Well, what about this
my
idea?
Job.
What about this idea?
Mm-hmm.
You pay $100K, or you pay half of your house off.
Mm-hmm.
You pay your whole car off.
Mm-hmm.
Your mortgage drops to like $400, $300 a month.
Yeah,
which is chump change.
Yeah.
You know,
even working a normal job,
you could work at McDonald's and pay that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because then you have more money to then flip and make.
Yes,
it's
more money. Fair enough. I just think if you take some of that money and make it manageable in normal life,
you want to develop your
coins.
You want to have something for your children's children. You know what I mean? And so that's why I would say those investments would be a part of that. But like Jeremy asked me, like, oh, let's say we made a whole bunch of money. I said, honestly, if I was making, I wouldn't go out here and buy a 17-room mansion. I honestly would take my house that I have currently and upgrade it to the max. You know what I mean? I'd put money into that and just have a more modern house.
I'll put a spaceship on top.
You know what I mean? Put a landing pad for a helicopter in the back.
The more house you have, the more shit you got to clean.
And don't get me wrong, it's cool to have multiple garages full of cars and basketball goals. I mean, that's cool stuff, but it's like, how often do you really use it? Like, how often do you really?
Yeah,
I would love to not have to worry. I would live here forever if I just had a bunch of money. Like if they were like, hey, dude, like we'll pay your house off, and I ever have to pay house taxes, and they're like, I would love that. I would freaking never leave.
That's the best. Is if.
But sometimes it's frustrating because it is way more expensive than I used to pay. So,
dude, you're preaching to the choir.
It's like, dude, I wish I wouldn't have. Like we had had a big conversation before we purchased the home, and I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. And I was like, listen, I don't think it's a smart idea. I think that we're in a good place because our rent at the time for a 4-bedroom house, and it was like $800, and so and then my dad was paying half of it, so I was paying $500. Nothing, and think about how much money you bring in, and he's paying his part, and the kids, we kind of grew up at the same town, and it was the increase went from where we were paying like $800 a month to like $2,200 a month, $2,300, and it's like, sheesh, we can afford it, but dang, dude, it really tightens it really just, man. If
you have one speed bump, it like is a ripple.
It's scary.
Yeah, as opposed to, I mean, we're in the same boat. And that's why I have to do things like, granted, it's a dream job, but I have to go to Tennessee where I'm making way more money.
Right.
To be able to stay in this lifestyle, you know?
Right. Yeah.
When the whole time you can say, that's the crazy part is the whole time in the back of your head, you can say, I can get this thing ready and sell it and get out from underneath this. But then what? Then the house that I built or bought for X amount of money gets me half of what it is now, you know?
I agree. It's just
such a,
you know, survival is way more difficult than than it should be. And even at our age, it's like, man, dude, I don't know. I guess either things have changed or I just haven't succeeded in where I wanted to do it yet. You know, and it's like, dude, you know, I'm not saying like the struggle's real. It's just like the struggle is real sometimes, you know.
But
sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not, and sometimes it is.
But I think it's the way the system is built. Like
for
it's
sure,
the way the American economy is built is for people to live like we're living.
Like I make way more money.
Put it back, yeah.
We make way more money than I ever have, like ever combined. Like in combined too. It's like it doesn't make. It's like it's so frustrating. It's like how on earth making this much money is there still the sometimes month to month, and it's like dude. You know, you're still stretching, even though it's like you can proudly say, "I make more money than I ever have," and you can sadly say, "Fudge, I still feel like."
You got to remember, man, that the middle class doesn't exist anymore.
It does. We're not in. It's like
the middle class.
Like
the middle class is raised,
and
so it really is just like if you're not quite there. But I mean, I read an article where they truly said like the middle class isn't what it used to be. You know what I mean? And so therefore, like the existence of middle class really just isn't there. Either you're in the tax bracket or you're not. So
I just feel like the elbow of the body,
or the weenus. You know what I mean? Not even the
useless. Yeah, painful though when you hit it.
Yeah, painful. You know what I mean? And
get
then
out of here with that.
Then you got the weenus, which provides no protection for the elbow. You know what I mean? Outside of
none.
And ugly skin,
just
nut skin right there.
Just folds of skin.
Elbow skin and nut skin is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think. Like I think this skin meat is called testis skin.
Unless you have like really ashy elbows,
testicles,
and then the texture changes a little bit. You know?
I mean,
because there's some people out there that got barnacles on their weenuses. You know what I mean? Like it's dried up.
What if you had like
put some lotion on?
What if you had a callus on your? What if you had a callus on your nuts like that?
That would suck.
Just scraping them. Like maybe you just sit all the time naked. You just be like.
Dried itchy, bro. Like
and
why you just
dry
humping?
Maybe you'd be watching sports and you'd be like, "Come on, Ben, what the heck, Jim?
Humping everything."
Come and
the people that live below you are thinking you're the man,
dude. The constant chony rub,
insane. You know what I man? Like.
Yeah.
Has just created the real
dried up
powdered
donut.
So
bog it down.
I mean, somebody has a pair of hard nuts. I mean, that's a fact.
Oh, definitely.
Of course.
You know, someone's got a shell down there, and
it does have a shell.
Somebody has a shell down there.
So hey, dude, if you had a shell down there, it would look like a turtle because it'd be
out like ooh, go back in again.
Like
it would look like an unafraid turtle.
It'd be like this. Like this will be your noits, and then it'd be like, "Hey, girl,
get busy."
Dude.
And then the girl would be like, "Ooh," and be like,
"Someone's full turtle." It's so funny, but yeah, Nick. So, Nick, there was something we were going to talk about. That we had talked about the other day.
Let me go to my notes. Let me go to my notes.
Go ahead, Patty. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Pat.
hold on. I'm going at your notes.
I'm going.
No, he's going to look while you talk.
We're talking about Jimmy Butler.
One more subject.
From the Miami Heat.
No, there was something else that you said that we were going to talk about, and we were like, we'll go into that. And I was like, well,
no. We were.
It was something we had wrote. Yeah.
Let me see.
Oh, what was the conversation?
Oh, it's some of the runners.
We said like, We're like, yeah, what's it
The
that?
Renaissance. Yeah, we're going to ask. We're going to talk about your
That's
first
what I was
week,
wanting to talk about.
your
is
first weekend at the
first-
Renaissance. It was
yeah.
something that we were going to talk about.
That's
I don't
what
know
me
if
and
that's
you were
it.
talking
Yeah,
about.
Yeah.
Something
We
like
can
that.
talk
And
about
then,
that. Yeah, so it's been.
So tee it up for him, Nick. Tee it up for listeners.
So
who
for
aren't
those of you
aware
who
of
aren't
the
aware,
Women
we have
Guild.
this thing in North Carolina called the Renaissance Fest that goes. It's nationwide.
It's nationwide.
But we
they travel.
we call our nom de plume in Concord. We're very proud of it. So even though it's nationwide, we're going to call it our thing. But it's the Renaissance Fair. If you've never been, you absolutely need to go. It is an experience that is just worth it. But we have a member of the podcast who is an active employee, and we will be intrigued from the end of September all the way to the end of November. Am I right in that? The 19th. So Joel just had his first full weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so it's so just a
for
little.
it.
Let me give a little context to it. So what it is, if you don't know, is it takes you. It's designed and it takes you back to like the 1500s. Yeah. The idea is that you get to be there. People talk like that. You get to do barbaric things. A lot of stuff didn't happen back then, but it's really fun. It's everybody wears costumes, like, and you might dress up like an X-Men and wear it there. It's almost like
it's almost
whatever
like a,
you want,
like a free
do
LARPing.
whatever.
You know what I mean? Like it's freestyle LARPing.
Yes,
Like, whatever you want to
that's
wear and do.
It's like LARPing
so,
without
Yeah,
LARPing.
you can do. But it's very much medieval times. But people wear different time eras during that time as well. Some are pirates, some are colonial people, some are Vikings,
show you-
some are.
Let me show
Knightsmen.
you part of my costume.
But it's a really cool fest, man.
Why do they not do LARPing?
I'm sure
my
they
God,
do.
that's
I'm sure
a-
some people do. I'm sure people take
They
it upon
have
themselves
to.
to LARP. But it's just a fun time.
With that
Yeah.
big field?
It's just a really fun time just to gather with your friends and family and go out there. But we've got
The earring?
insider information. Look at those insider information because again, Joel is an active employee, man. So we just want to talk about how the weekend went, man.
So
What was some of the highlights for you? One question that
So look at my earrings.
they're hooped out.
Dude, I like them.
Those are strong.
Arr!
So
It just screams like pirate.
So, Joel, my question, and I want to ask again because we wanted to wait for the podcast was like, when does it kick off? Like, at what point in time do you get into character? You know what I mean? Like, is it a requirement as soon as you hit the grounds and go, or
mean,
is it
just-
like 3, 2, 1,
They're not.
action?
No. So it's different. It's like, no, listen, it's not like that. They're like, hey, do an accent, don't do an accent. It's up to you. But they're like, but don't do an accent back here. Like
Yeah.
when we're in the backstage, when it's behind,
Yeah.
they call it backstage, right? Because you're really, it's technically, it's like being on stage because wherever you are, if you're part of the cast, you are in character. And let's say I was just walking around and something like that, I would 100% stay in character all day. And I do stay in pretty good character. I run the axe throwing section, which is cool because people love throwing axes. And
You
also,
look
it gives
like
me the-
somebody who would be an axe thrower.
correct, bro. Like, so I wear like these earrings
Good
and I wear a
casting.
pirate
Good casting.
bandana. And I get complete access to these people as they walk by me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get to tell jokes. I get to engage with men, women, pretty women, ugly dudes, pretty dudes. Like it's just a good time. And really, it's really easy to draw people's attention because you just flatter them or make them laugh, and you're good to go. And so it's really a hugely interesting cast. Like everybody is exactly what you imagine. Like
I love that.
I don't fit the build for like the kind of person that you would. I mean, I do 100% if you know me, but
Yeah.
based on like these people, you would be like, aha, I definitely believe he works at the Renaissance. You know, like in normal days, you know, on stage or whatever, you probably wouldn't think I work at the Renaissance, or if I didn't have a beard,
Yeah.
you know. But it is definitely the craziest cast of people,
Yeah.
but in a good way because everybody's super fun, everybody's all in, they all have a good time, and it's fun.
Do I'm sure the fairies, but like the guy that walks around, the inventor, and the guy that tells jokes, like the Gaston guy. Are all those they travel with it, or they volunteers?
Those guys
there?
do.
Okay.
Everybody gets paid, but they do. Those guys do.
But that's what
those
I mean.
guys.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's like the people that travel are different, right? Where we're in a group of people that are all local.
Yeah.
The travelers, they do whatever they want, really, because they're hired to be there, not to do certain things. So if I travel, it's because I sell a certain thing and I have a booth now, and
Gotcha.
I went and built. You have to go and build your own shop. So all those houses that are built on those grounds, they're built by the shop owners, minus the food places. So the tapestry place or something like that, or let's say like one of the clothing places.
Yeah.
You apply to get into the Renaissance Festival. They say, okay, we like your product, yeah. Then you come and you have to build a shelter or a house that matches
That's
a storefront that matches what's called. And then you can just keep coming back as long as it's profitable. And I talked to this guy, I said, man, how much money do you make? Because he does travel, right? Yeah. And he's like, he was an engineer for 30 years, a computer engineer, and his wife was a administrator in school for like 30 years. And he's like, we make way more money than we ever did.
That's wild. I'm sure people do.
He's like,
people show up and spend money at that thing.
Yeah, he's like, we make way more money than we ever did. And he goes, every day my wife wakes up and looks at me and says, I love my life so much. And they just travel around, and then they only work when the fair is open, and then they have a shop wherever they live.
Yeah. But so the people that travel are cool. Like all of them are really cool.
So they live there. They have
like campers and stuff.
When you sign in and you get all set up to fill out your paperwork, and they're like, are you staying on the grounds? And if you are, it's like $150, and they can literally stay from like September 30th or whatever when it starts until the day it ends. Probably like November 20th.
Cool. Yeah. That's wild.
And here's my thought. I'm like, dude, I want to stay out here one night because I bet they get down. And it turns out this one dude, I met this one guy, and he is like this super flamboyant gay guy, like super flamboyant. We're in line, and he walks up, just cuts everybody in line, goes, hey. And I said, hey. And me and Joe are standing there, and he just like pulls this thing out of his bag, and he goes, whoosh. It's like a stool, and he goes, I always got to keep a stool on me. You can't even stand up sometimes. I'm hungover. Boom. Like, sits down. He's like, he's got like a fur jacket on. It's like 89 degrees, 90 degrees outside. He's like sitting here, and he's got some like high heel shoes on. It was this whole thing, and he was really funny. And I'm not dissing. It's just such a funny character. And
that was his Renaissance Festival character. That's who he was.
That's just who he was, and he was like telling us how he drinks all day and he loves to be drunk, and he usually does a fifth in the morning, a fifth in the evening, and I'm like, dang! I said, damn, son, where's your liver? How's your liver doing? Where the hell's your liver?
Have you shriveled up? Or do you think you run into the one guy or the girl that maybe takes their job too serious? I feel like somebody there has to be the one person that's like
maybe it should be me. Maybe I should be the one that says like, oh, I live this life all year, all day.
Like correcting
it's crazy and delusional.
On like, oh, your accent isn't good enough. Like, you need to work on.
Hold on. As crazy and delusional, I think, as it sounds to like get lost or get stuck in something like that.
Yeah.
I think if you could disassociate from society, I think to you it'd be like, this is the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah,
like I think 100%. You could. I think somebody could convince himself that they really live in the 1500s, or that this is the real world.
Easily.
And not saying that's bad, and not saying it's good, but I think people can do that with wrestling. I think that there's a lot 100%. Of things that you can do that with. I don't think all sports, but I think certain things like that, like wrestling, is so consistent and so constant. It becomes
your identity.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so constant, and you have like if you're performing every day, and the goal is to be believable and to keep moving up, right? And just taking that. I mean, you can. I mean, I think people get lost in it all the time. I think rappers do. I think it's very easy.
Steve Austin talks about all the time. That's how he got lost in it.
Well, I think the greatest appreciation that I had for being backstage when I go to wrestling, when we work wrestling events or when we go to wrestling events
was all the baby oil.
I just the change of like, you know, you got some guys that are like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's happening? And then as soon as they hit the stage, it's like, let me tell you something, brother. Like, it's just so funny, dude. But you get a real appreciation because you get to see, like, Marcellus, like, funniest transition ever. Like, when I met him, he was all like, hey, man, like, dude, I love your music. I love your thing. I love your promo. Yeah. And then he gets on stage and he's Marcellus King. And then, dude, I just remember, like, laughing so hard because it's like, they don't get to see the human side of it. You know what I mean? And even after the fact, 100%. Every promo you see, you have to be in character. So I
Nick,
absolutely 100% agree.
Don't forget, we're all Herman. Wrestlers are Herman.
Renaissance
rappers are Herman. Renaissance people is Herman.
At the end of the day, we are
Herman.
And that's
this is planet Earth.
And we just a bunch of Hermans trying to survive.
Herman race.
Hey, we got to band together and be a Herman race. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know when the Earlians might come down. Is that real?
I'm Herman.
I'll look at Early in the face and say, straight up, I'm Herman.
But it is. I'll tell you some of the most interesting people that you meet though out there. Like, it's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids because it's like 16. And up.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So you have a lot of kids that are in high school that are doing it, and they're with their friends. So it's
life, man.
You know, it's cool because they're all having a good time. And Joel's there. My son's with me, so that's fun. And he does like. He loves it, man. I really just like meeting him and see him all the time. Like
what is?
Out there with
does he help you with the axe throwing, or does he have another?
He does sometimes if we want to, but he usually does the Da Vinci, the hard one where they push it and then they get up there and they rock the boats. And
he's gonna be a strong.
They have a good time though.
He's gonna be muscled up.
He really is, dude. I mean, I've lost some weight just from those 2 days and stuff, constant in the sun.
Yeah.
And then my job on top of that, like working 6 days a week, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's like, woo. And so, and I work outside.
That's
why
working chemicals kept me skinny for so long. You know what I mean? Because 12 hours sometimes, 6 days a week. Like, yeah.
I was about to say, that Renaissance Festival going to be giving you some vitamin D.
I'm gonna tell you, I walk in the Renaissance Festival chubby,
skinty,
6-pack,
handsome. Well, you know, but it's really fun. It's been the people are great. That's awesome. Like I say, it is a very diverse group of people, and 100% I intend on writing a television show, a sitcom about this thing, something, whatever. And I'm not saying too much, but I am going to write it, and I think that it'll be super funny, and I think that there's so much there, and it's a family, dude. Like these people do it every year, and it's like even the rides and games people. They all try and work more than 1 year in a row. That way they become like friends and then they see each other and then they hang out outside of there. And I got a job because I know someone there. And so it's been
like
pretty
its
cool.
own little community.
Yeah, it's exactly what I do. The only downside is football. I do miss football a lot.
Yeah. But you're not missing
the Panthers suck.
You're not missing a whole lot right now.
I would just be screaming all day.
Any of the good college games is when you're off.
True that.
Real. Well, man. Well, dude, thanks for sharing, man. That's really good insight, and we're getting excited to talk about this on a weekly basis to find out what's new, what's going down in Renaissance Town. You know what I mean? And so we got about 2 to 3 months just worth of straight content that I'm excited to hear about because I know some crazy stuff's gonna happen, and I can't wait to find out, man. So with that, we're headed into the end of our podcast. Really good conversation. Got some stuff that I wanted to talk, but we'll definitely get into it next week. So that gives me an opportunity to talk about some stuff. Fall is here, y'all, and we're so excited that it's here. The weather is changing, and it's getting nice outside. And so I'm excited for the fall because I ain't hot. You know what I mean? With that being said, we want to continue to change with you guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, man, make sure you subscribe, get on, check us out, have a good listen to the podcast. I promise you're going to have lots of laughs and a good time just listening in to what we got to talk about week by week. If there's something you want us to discuss or cover, let us know, right? Because at the end of the day, we do what we do for you guys. So we want to know what you guys got on your minds. What are some of your thoughts? What are some things that you want to hear us discuss? We want to know about it. So leave us a comment down below after you subscribe. But with that, we're going to go ahead and go into our dirty plugs right now. My shameless plug is you can catch me on Instagram at RickDynasty1. You can catch me on Twitter at The Real One Hogan. You can also find me on TikTok at Nick Clemency Comedy, and, of course, on all Tuesday platforms that we have across the board. And I'm going to kick it over to my main man, David Patrick Price. What you got, sir?
Oh, on there.
We're going to let Joel finish it out. As always, at Tuesday on all social media platforms. And if you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, so every time a new podcast episode comes out, you get that notification. If you're watching this on Spotify, its video is still available, and it's always available on all of our past episodes this year, I believe. Click that follow button so you automatically download these episodes as soon as they pop out. And that's all for me.
Yeah,
Let's
good time.
finish it up, Joe.
Yeah, I had a good time tonight, guys. I really enjoyed it. It was a good conversation more than anything, so I enjoyed just hanging out. This was a time for friends to hang out and have a great time.
That's all we do.
But you guys can catch me on TikTok under Jinx Shame, I think, or POD Joel, and you can catch me on Instagram. I think it's Your J Jinx, and on Facebook, it's Joel Reyes. But guys, I had a good time talking with you guys. So much fun, and even though we get old, it never gets old. You can tell.